Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Hump Day edition of Today in Sports Betting. Taking a look first at the NCAA. Few good games tonight, Scott. It's not necessarily a lot of battles between ranked teams, but there are a couple. So let's get it rolling with that battle from the Big East as the Creighton Blue Jays take on the Seton Hall Pirates. Creighton, 1.5-point road favorite in this one, and your total is 147.5. Scott, you and I were just talking. I don't know what to make of this Creighton team. They're a frustrating team. About the time you give up on them, they play well against a good opponent. Then about the time you start believing in them, they suck against a bad opponent. So tonight, they've got a slightly above average opponent, and they're a small favorite. So what do we got?
So for this one, to be honest, I liked Creighton last night when I actually wrote the article for statsalt.com. I actually thought about it this morning, and I think Seton Hall is going to win the game. It just seems to me like a good spot for Seton Hall to get back on track. This team got smacked by Creighton on the road about 3 weeks ago. Lost a pretty tough game to Villanova on the road by 2. But Seton Hall hasn't played a home game since January 2nd. And Creighton has played 4 of its last 5 games at home. The one road game that it had in the middle, it lost a sandwich game in overtime to Butler, which is brutal because Butler's terrible.
Not a good team this year are the Bulldogs.
So I like Creighton on paper, but, I mean, you already talked about it. Creighton seems to be a team that seems to struggle right when you actually start to believe in them. And Seton Hall's 5-1 at home, 5-1 against the spread at home. I think Seton Hall's got a decent shot to win this game, so I'll take the 2.
Yeah, you just about got to go that way. I mean, it's Seton Hall's covered 5 of their last 6. They're a good team at home. They dispatched Butler fairly easily with their last home game there. You mentioned it on the 2nd of January. Yeah, they're what are they 3-1 against the number at home?
With Seton Hall?
Yeah,
5-1.
Well, I mean, in conference. Sorry, I'm only counting conference.
Yeah,
3-1. It's the Creighton team is. I think they're superior as far as talent goes, but they just don't seem to execute. And I'm like you. I'm curious to see them on the road. They haven't played well on the road this year. In fact, they haven't covered the number in conference in road play. One time, sorry, against St. John's, that's another level bad right there. But yeah, I'm with you. I've got to ride the Pirates here. Yep.
I watched a decent amount of that Creighton Butler game on the road from a couple weeks ago. Oh boy, I mean that was just bad, and it went to overtime. It wasn't even like Butler hits a miracle shot to send it to overtime. Butler actually missed a wide open layup to win the game in regulation. So Creighton was behind the 8 ball pretty much the entire game.
Right.
They just looked lost on the highway. And I don't think that's going to change against Seton Hall. And I think you'll agree. I don't know how much you factor in home court advantage. I think I still factor it in a little bit more than you do. I think you'll agree, though, that not playing a home game in about 3 weeks should get you pretty motivated for this one if you're Seton Hall.
I would think so.
So I think Seton Hall rallies here and circles the wagons a bit. I think they win the game outright.
I got plus 110. You got a better number than that on the money line?
I see mostly around plus 110. I can shop around a little bit more, but that'll take a little while. So
okay, yeah, no worries. But yeah, the money line, I see no reason to pick up the 1.5, and when I could have plus 110.
Yeah, that's fair. I was going to take the plus 2, but honestly, it makes a lot of sense to take the money line instead.
All right. Well, we're going to kind of go. A little bit under the radar. 2 teams that we really like personally, not necessarily getting the national attention, but real quick, Scott, we've got some decent games there. Maryland, Wisconsin. Give me 1 sentence and a pick. Who you like there?
Under.
Okay, good.
I'm not really thrilled about it either, but it's dropped 2 points already. I actually, somebody asked me on Twitter over the weekend my thoughts on the Wisconsin-Ohio State game, and they said in the sentence, I know that you don't like Wisconsin. And I actually leaned to Wisconsin because Ohio State had some injuries, lost by double digits at home. So, yeah, I don't like this Wisconsin team at all. Maryland already beat them once. And Maryland, 9-7 tournament team, according to Lenardi. So, we'll see what happens there. But I like the under.
Louisville, Clemson by 1.5, 129.5.
I'll lean Louisville. I know Clemson has been a bit of a surprise in the ACC, at least early on. This team seems to hit a wall, and Louisville, well, I understand this team on the road isn't very good, but Clemson looks like it's gone into complete free fall at this point. I'm assuming you agree with that.
Haven't been a good shooting team all season.
Yeah, it was defense that was the main reason why, and then Virginia dropped 85 on their heads.
Yeah.
Lost 3 straight. I got to lean to Louisville here.
Yeah. You know what? I'll go the other way just because Clemson's weakness is 3-point shooting defense, and that ain't what Louisville does. They don't shoot threes.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think it's a decent matchup for Clemson. Don't love anything there, but
I'm passing, but I'll lean Louisville.
Yep, I'm with you. Okay. Anything else? Anything else get your attention before we go on to our Mountain West team?
Not really. I know that I'm not going to be taking it, but there's no way I'm taking the points with Kansas State. I'll tell you that much.
It's a lot of points, man, and but they Baylor has this weird habit of really not destroying teams, except for Kansas State. They were
scored a hundo in the first meeting.
Yeah, I think they beat them. I think they beat them 100-69. Is that right?
Yep, won by 31. Kansas State. You knew they were bad when they lost to a D3 team. Then they actually won a couple, beat Iowa State on the road, and stuff maybe was turning around, won 4 or 5. And then the full conference slate came in, and they've lost 6 straight.
Yeah, I think Iowa State is still winless in the conference play, if I'm not mistaken, unless they won over the weekend.
I don't fully remember, but I do know Kansas State has – it's not even just losing. Kansas State – wait, I keep interrupting you. You go.
It's hard to believe there's a team worse than Kansas State in the Big 12, but apparently there is.
Yeah. Well, Kansas State's lost each of the last 5 games by at least double digits. Yep. I think Baylor rolls here.
Of course, they've been without their second leading scorer, and they're getting back tonight. So,
yeah.
All right. So the game that we really like, Scott. This is a couple of teams that are, I think, kind of under most people's radar because they play late. They don't get a lot of pub, but it's Boise State and Colorado State. There's three good teams in that Mountain West Conference, and I'm a big fan. Tell our viewers a little bit about the Mountain West this year, Scott.
So you said 3 good teams. I kind of demoted it to 2.5 because I'm not sure what to think of this Utah State team right now.
Okay, well that's fair enough.
But still, solid team. You can make it the argument even 4 teams if you want to include San Diego State in there.
Yeah, again, that was a team that was good early. They were kind of the rabbits out of the gate.
Yeah.
Everybody saw San Diego State, went, oh, that's a really good team, and then they started playing really good teams, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I know Mitchell also got injured for them, but you got Boise State, who's 13-1.
Right.
First, the only loss was the opener against Houston, who's been a top 10 team pretty much the entire country.
Right.
I mean, pretty much the entire year. You have Utah State 9-2, struggling a bit lately, but still a solid team overall. Colorado State 8-2 in conference play, 11-3 overall. And San Diego State is 11-4 overall. So you have 4 teams there with 11-plus wins, and I don't know how many teams the Mountain West will get in. Usually you're somewhere around 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Maybe occasionally 3, but mostly 1 or 2. I think you could probably end up with maybe 3 this year, assuming nobody fully implodes.
It's possible, and I think this Utah State team, they've got one of the best players probably nobody's ever heard of in the Nehemiah Queta, who just really does everything, and I think has a chance to. I think he has a chance to play at the next level. I'm not sure.
I think he'll be a second-round pick.
I'm not sure he plays at the next level right away. He may need a little seasoning, maybe in Europe or something like that. But I think he's got a chance to at least be a second rotation kind of guy there in the association. So tonight, Scott, we've got Boise State, we've got Colorado State. Again, two of those top teams. This is and it's handicapped as such. Boise State's -3 and 147 is your total. What do you got here?
So this line's actually moved a lot. Colorado State originally opened up as around 1-point favorites or so, and then the line has completely flipped to Boise -3. So you have had a line switch or favorite switch and a 4-point line move here. I can't go against Boise. I know Colorado State's very, very good. I know that Colorado State has been playing really well at home this season, of course, with the altitude taking advantage of it. Boise's won 13 in a row. This team's a 9-0 in conference play. And if you actually just look at these margin of victories that Boise has had in conference play, these games aren't even close.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going through the games. You had one game against San Jose State, who's the worst team in the conference, where Boise won by 1. And that was the day after Boise won by 52.
Yeah.
So Boise clearly had a letdown spot there and took a nap. That's the only game Boise's played in 9 conference games that's been decided by within 10 points.
Yep.
So Boise's just an absolute machine. I don't know how I'm supposed to fade Boise State here. I think we're on the same page.
Yeah, the only time they've struggled is with gigantic numbers. They failed to cover 19 and 18 and a half against Air Force. Like you said, that 20 they beat San Jose State by 1 as a 26-point favorite. Probably had some money line sweats there, Scott.
A little bit. I know that they were trailing late, had a game-winning layup, but once again, that just shows that they won the previous game and the previous day by 52. So you know for a fact that Boise, I'd say, wasn't fully interested in that game. I think that's a safe way to put it.
Yeah, and this is a Colorado State team that the last time out, they beat a very good Utah State team by 8 as a 7.5-point favorite. So they were able to get Keita in foul trouble. They were able to just be relentless pounding the ball inside.
You mean as an underdog?
He's an 7.5-point underdog. Sorry, I said a favorite. Yeah, Utah State was the favorite there.
And that was on the road. But once again, I don't know how much to factor into these 2-game sets because they lost the first game by 19.
Yeah, exactly. So, they've played like that too. Generally speaking, they've kind of played consistently in those back-to-back sets.
Mm.
But so we'll see. And this is the first game that's set against Boise State. It is hard to bet against this Boise State team. They've covered 3 straight. Like I said, they've just struggled with gigantic numbers. Of course, this is the first time that they've had a spread this small since they opened up with a game against BYU. So we'll
I think you'd agree that it's pretty telling that this line has not only switched favorites, but now Boise's laying 3 after being a 1-point underdog last night.
That's a hell of a switch. That's a lot of points, especially in a game like this. There's definitely some people that have had that circled. So I don't disagree with it either. I think Boise State is the better team. I think Colorado State's a fine team. I think they're a borderline tournament team, but I think this Boise State is actually something special. So
yeah, I think Boise's good enough to win a tournament game. I can't say the same about Colorado State.
That's fair enough. That's legit. This is going to come down. I'm anxious to see it, and they only play them once this year. It's the last game of the season, Boise State and Utah State. That should be a fun game to watch.
Do you think Boise wins the conference, or do you think the Mountain West has a bunch of chaos in the tournament again? It's a tradition. You asking me if I do. I think they win the conference outright, or I think they win the conference tournament. No, the tournament. They're going to win the conference outright. They're undefeated in conference play.
Well, I mean, never say never. I mean, they could certainly fall off the cliff.
I'm just saying I don't see that situation happening. I was referring solely to the conference tournament, which is always a pure crapshoot.
Oh no, they go down there and play that in Vegas.
You always have the 3 seed or some random team win it.
Yeah, that's I don't think you're going out on a limb much saying there's going to be chaos in the Mountain West tournament.
I'm not. I'm just asking if you think Boise's actually going to run the table.
I think they're good enough. I think they're good enough to win the tournament easily. But there's a lot of teams that could roadblock them. So to me, it's a little early to tell, Scott. They've got 12, 13 conference games between now and then. Yeah. Let me see how they stay healthy, and let me see what they do. So I'll take a pass on that. But I'll take the easy way out and say no. I'll take the field.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. Truth is, I think the sleeper in that conference is San Diego State.
Yeah.
But it also depends on how healthy Mitchell is and stuff like that. But, yeah, overall, I like Boise here. It's just a matter of Colorado State's good, but I think Boise is good.
Now, do you agree that Keita is the best player in that conference?
I think that definitely makes sense. I think Keita offensively can be a bit streaky at times, which is concerning because for a guy his size – you kind of just want to give him the rock and he'll drop 20 and 15, which he just doesn't do.
Right.
But defensively, the guy rim protects, I'd say, what do you think he is, like a top 15 rim protector in the entire country?
Yeah.
Like he's good. I've heard comparisons to Dallenberg, which I think is a decent comparison for NBA, I'd say historians. But
Right.
I think that's a fair comparison. I think he's one of the best players in the conference. I don't think anybody this year has taken on the Malachi Flynn, I'm clearly the best player in the conference, get out of my way type of season. I haven't seen that happen. But yeah, I think that's a fair statement.
And he can still get into foul trouble. He can still get goaded into stupid fouls.
Yeah.
If you watch that game that they played against Colorado State, his third and fourth foul were just ridiculously stupid. And the fourth one was a reach in, and you can't do that with 3 fouls early in the second half.
Yeah.
So all right, guys. Well, let's take care of it. Did we do an official pick here? We both like Boise State, right?
I like Boise until I see Boise not only not cover but actually lose a conference game.
Yeah,
I gotta take Boise here because I just think this team is just so good.
And you and I are we both making the bold pick here on Drake tonight, Scott?
Well, I know you said that you think Drake loses outright.
Yeah, I like the Bears plus 155.
I'm not touching it.
Okay.
I think that game could go one of two ways, as I said before we went on air. I think either Missouri State keeps thinking about the second half choke job from yesterday and gets run out of the gym by 20.
Right.
Or Missouri State realizes we had him in the first half and then we let him slip, so we'll win. So I know it doesn't sound like that bold of a call, but I think either Missouri State wins outright or Drake runs like hard. I think Drake either wins by double digits or loses outright. I think.
And for those of you that don't know, well, first of all, why are you watching a college basketball betting show? But Drake is undefeated against the number. They're the only team that's 12-0 against the spread after a they're down 15 yesterday, down 15 at halftime.
It wasn't pretty. Yeah.
No, Drake was able to come back. So, all right, that's my bold prediction. Not only does Drake's ATS string loose tonight, but their undefeated streak ends as well.
I got one play that I do like that I mentioned to you before the show. I like Western Carolina and VMI over the 158.5. I just think both teams are going to get up and down. You look at VMI, this team's been pretty solid to the over, and these are high numbers. Like they're usually in the high 150s, low 160s, stuff like that. But VMI is 5-1 to the over in its last 6. And Western Carolina, you'll get its performances. You had over 160 points against East Tennessee State. You had over 200 points against North Carolina A&T. You had over 160 points against VCU. You had over 160 points against Wofford. Like these games are high scoring, and based on how these teams have played in recent years, I think both these teams are going to get into the 80s. So I like the over.
All right, very good. That's going to do it for us for the college basketball show. By the way, if you're looking for information, even more information on these games or that we talked about or any of the other games on the schedule, don't forget to stop by and check out winnersandwhiners.com. Deep dives into every game every single day. Always there, always free, winnersandwhiners.com. For myself, for Scott Rochelle, for all of us over here at winnersandwhiners.com. Appreciate you guys watching today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And, of course, we wish you nothing but the best on all of your plays today. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. All right, you guys take care. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one as we do the NBA. We'll see you on that show as we talk about today in sports betting. Bye-bye, everybody.